real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Georgette Hill married the defendant's first husband. She claims the defendant is a black widow because she's been married several times and all of the men have since died. Georgette claims she helped raise the defendant's children and they remained cordial, but she's suing for job expenses and wages. Defendant Mary Murphy says Georgette was not always cordial when she had Mary's children because she hid them whenever Mary would come to the house to visit. Mary's countersuing for unauthorized charges and wage overpayment.
Start with you.
Well, I've known Mary 40 years. I married her first husband. When their divorce was final, she was married 60 days later to someone else. And 4 years after that, she got rid of him and got another husband. She's a user. She's a black widow. She uses everybody she comes in contact. Yeah, they're all dead.
They're all dead.
All dead.
They're all dead. I didn't have a thing to do with it. Nothing. Vietnam, Agent Orange, what can I say? Killed them with love.
Needless to say.
You loved them to death, literally. Go ahead.
They were good.
Defendant Mary Murphy is being accused of being a black widow because she's been married several times and all the men have died.
I raised her two oldest children.
Co-raised.
And I've known them. She got them for summer. I got them all winter.
Did you all get along over these years?
I was very cordial because I didn't want to taint the relationship with the children.
Excuse me. It was cordial when you would hide them when I would go to get them for my visitation?
I didn't hide them. Your ex-husband did.
You were with them.
You took my car.
Tried to keep my... I never got to see my kids when I was supposed to. They would leave. I'd have to get a sheriff to go to the door to get them.
Your ex-husband was the one responsible for making sure you had visitation, not her.
She was there with them.
What is she gonna do?
I know. That's why we became friends later.
All right, so don't be mad at her about it, but you say you all did become friends.
Absolutely.
Good.
I have pictures. I've had her to my home for
Good.
dinner
Let's see
for
some
years.
of them. Good wife-in-law.
I mean,
Good.
it's like, I fed her many times. I've never eaten at her table.
You had a lot of meals over there?
She had meals at her son's house where I made dinners. Because I raised my two
You made the
grandchildren.
food.
Yes.
That's smart.
That was
All
on
right.
holidays. If I wasn't cooking at my house, she cooked
All
at
right,
her
at least
house.
no one had to go to the hospital at any point with all this cooking back and forth.
Never.
Very good. What else you want to tell me before we get to the job
Okay.
expenses you're suing her for?
Okay, 15 years ago, her father gave her her childhood house, and I helped her pick out colors, and she painted the whole house. I helped her hang curtains on ladders and drilled holes and did what I could. I lost my son last year. He died. So she called me up in June and asked me if I could help her fix up her house.
Is that what this lawsuit is about?
Yes, it's been in disarray for the last 15 years.
So before we get to what happened specifically with the lawsuit, let me allow her to give some background. So sorry to hear about your son. I know that was probably the worst thing ever happened to you. Ma'am?
Yes. Georgette loves paint, paper, hardware. She's also...
Tell her, and money.
She also knows
So you
how
want
to
that money
handle
that
all
she
these
did
things.
all that for, I'm sure. Go ahead.
Frugally, okay? So since our experience doing that was so good in the past, I thought, all right, her son died, and I'd seen her over the holidays. I'm thinking, wow, beautiful woman, this is sad. I'm calling her, I've got an idea. She's not working for the summer. So I said, what do you would you like to work on a project that involves the things you enjoy? She said, what is it? I told her. I said, what do you earn? She told me. She said, I'll do it for that. I said, great. So then she calls me back and she says, I have a friend, and he is experienced and he has tools, and he's going to come with me, and we're going to go over the house and assess everything that needs to be done and get back to you with a price. Okay, this sounds good. And it didn't go very well. She fired him.
No, he quit.
Okay. First, let me ask you, what was the agreement?
We agreed that she was going to fluff up the house because I wanted
For
to
how
sell
much?
it. We didn't come to an agreement, just that we were going to do it reasonably and inexpensively.
There was no agreement on the amount.
No.
So
no.
you didn't have
I
a
figured
contract.
she knew what she was doing.
So you didn't have a contract.
No.
So then what?
No, because it was verbal.
No, you didn't have a verbal contract either.
I guess not. It was based on our friendship.
Right. You didn't have a contract at all?
No.
Right. You keep saying it's based on this or it's that. You didn't have one under any circumstances.
No, you're right.
Go ahead.
You're right.
Thank you.
Anyway, next she says, I found these 2 boys. They live in my house. They need work. I'm bringing them. So she brought them, and that's what started. And it went on and on and on, week after week, and things were being broken, things I can't replace. Things had to be painted over. She'd give them directions to paint.
How much did you agree to pay them?
I didn't. She paid them.
There was never an agreement to even pay them.
No, she was
and
going to
never
pay
an
them.
agreement to pay her either.
Oh, no,
Specific.
I was paying her
Specific
$12
agreement.
an hour. She said she wasn't going to do the work. She was going to pay them her money to do the work.
How many people, ma'am?
2. Very reasonable.
And she wasn't getting anything, obviously?
I didn't know this. This was not my deal. My deal was with her. I thought she was going to be doing the work all the time.
Go ahead,
I asked her to
tell
paint
me
my house.
what's happening.
Lewis is a tenant in my house, and Tim was too. They agreed to work for $6 an hour. That's the whole $12 an hour.
Defendant Mary Murphy is being accused of being a black widow because she's been married several times and all the men have died.
The agreement the 2 of you all had was that you would supply her with 2 workers who would charge her $6 an hour each?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I couldn't do the work
All right,
myself.
and who was to be responsible for those workers? You?
Yes.
Good enough. So what happened?
Well, we worked over the 4th of July, except for 4th of July day, and I paid them out of my pocket. On the 9th, I went and gave back her credit cards, and I told the fellas, if you go back, she's not going to pay you because she's not paying me back the money I paid you for your wages. I bought them lunch every day, and I didn't charge her for it. I took them to Lowe's.
How much did she fail to pay you?
$411.
Let me see it, please.
Oh, there's 2 here. I want one for myself.
Now, Your Honor, I didn't get any notice that she was paying them or that she was buying them lunch, except that I found it on my credit cards.
Okay, you tell me why don't you believe you owe?
I never got a bill. I did not get a schedule, which
Let's
I
hand
have.
hand it to her. There go your bill. Now,
I didn't
what's your
receive
counterclaim?
this.
You got your bill now.
Okay,
What's your
this is
counterclaim?
the
Your
first
counterclaim.
time-
All right. Well, all you need is do one time. All right. $443 for charges and wage overpayment. How does she owe you for unauthorized charges and
Well,
wage
I
payment?
have over $1,100 worth of bills, and she told me she spent $300 at Lowe's. That bill came in over $5. The next one came in for more. And on that bill are things I never saw in my house that I've never had occasion to need, and for equipment that I didn't use, plus energy drinks and bagged goods, which is
Okay.
food.
Do you have the items that she overcharged?
Yes, I do,
Let's
sir.
see them, please. Did you mention it to her?
I didn't know until the bill came, and then I called immediately. I said, I got
That's
this
what I'm
bill.
saying. And what did she say?
She said, I spent $300. I have the receipts. I said, oh, good. Take the receipts over to Travis and Amy. Sit down with them, go over it, because I'll scan.
They won't let me in their house.
I'll scan.
All right. And
I'll
what
scan
about
that
the
up to-
wage overpayment?
These are the wages from when the boys started working and Georgette wasn't there.
I thought you said I did not pay because I never got a bill. That's why I gave you a bill.
Okay.
Now your countersuit is for wage overpayment. So
Correct.
now I'm confused.
Okay, well, I know how you feel. I don't know how many hours they worked productively.
Did you pay them?
Yes, I have receipts. I have my
So
check.
you did pay the workers.
Oh, yes, yes.
A minute ago you said you didn't get
I-
the bill from the workers and that's why you hadn't paid.
I have different bills. These
We're
bills,
referring to the bills for the workers.
right. These checks were made out to the workers. I had to open up a
So
credit.
you did pay them.
I paid them from the 16th through the 21st, from the 9th through the 15th.
Okay.
I wasn't
let me
even
see
there.
What you're referring to.
Well,
Yes,
but-
ma'am. Stand
Can
up.
my witness
State
stand
your
up?
name.
Amy
Yeah.
Hill.
What do you want me to know?
All I know is that Lewis and Tim were paid for the hours that are on those papers that me and my husband kept track of.
Okay. And you wanted to say what, sir?
This is what happened, okay? I'm one of the guys who did the work.
Okay.
All right? This wasn't fluffing up.
Were you paid?
Some of it was
Okay.
paid, not all of it. All
Majority,
right?
would
Now
you say?
listen. I tried to be nice
Sir,
about this.
talk to me.
I was nice about this. I brought my friend in. This job turned into, it's a very old house, got a lot of problems. one thing led to another. We got holes in the ceiling, spackle everywhere. I mean, it turned into a series. I worked 8, 9, 10, 11 hours a day.
Did you give them the total hours that you worked? Did you give it to the defendant?
The hours was turned over to her.
How many hours?
I never worked under 8 hours.
Ma'am, do you
I worked
know?
36 hours.
Okay, and how many did she pay you for?
I'm missing 3 days. I only
24
said,
hours? That's 8 per day? Or?
I didn't even put it at 8. I put it at 5.
5 hours,
Okay?
15 hours?
I know I worked more, but I put it at 5. I put it $6 an hour, 3 days.
Defendant Mary Murphy is being accused of being a black widow because she's been married several times and all the men have died.
How much money have you received? That'd make it easy.
$186.
If we do
Thank you.
186 divided by 6,
They're not made out to
it's
you.
what?
31 hours.
Okay, so that's 31 hours
Excuse me.
that you've been paid for. And you believe you worked how many? Okay.
She has the dates, all the way up to the 21st.
I mean, they
Ma'am?
have logs of every hour I worked. You know what I mean?
Why
don't
It's
you
stupid on my part
Tell
not
me
to write
the
it.
amount you paid him.
I paid them.
Him.
Oh,
Did you pay him separately?
I paid them together because they don't
How
have checking
much?
accounts.
How much, ma'am?
I sent up $396 for the first time. That was on the 21st. I had to send it up on an airplane so that they could get it because they didn't have food.
You have a copy of the check?
Yes.
Let's see that, please.
Who's it made
would
out to?
be-
We never got it.
We never saw the check.
You did. You came.
I got cash
to
in an
our
envelope.
house because we had the check.
Okay, but it was
one check.
$186. We're still missing days. When
Not from
Georgette
us.
left,
Not from us.
when Georgette
So
left,
you say it was only $186?
No, they
I
got two
think you
checks.
might have it all.
They got paid twice.
This is not a copy of a check.
It's a copy
this
of the
is absolutely not a copy of the check, ma'am. This
I
is
know
not
that.
a check
I don't
copy.
have
You
a
just
copy.
told me it was. Ma'am, I'm going to
She's a
dismiss
liar.
your claim,
I do not
and I'm
have
going to
copies.
grant yours.
Thank
You
you.
seem totally confused. They seem very clear. $545. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank
Have
you,
a
Your
good
Honor.
day.
listen, it's not personal. It's business.
But your work
I did the
stinks.
work. Hey, I did the work.
Half the time
I
you were
did
out
the work.
smoking.
I did the
You
work.
did work, but you didn't
Right,
you
hey,
were out smoking most of the time.
I went back. I fixed anything and everything.
Painted
Not everything.
wrong. She had to
I
tell
went
you.
back.
Not everything.
Listen, work's done. I didn't
Everything
get
was
paid.
falling apart when they got there.
What's fair is fair.
Well, that's true, but they were supposed to fix
Nobody
it.
ever said I was
No,
an
it was
expert.
falling apart
I
when they
didn't
got
say
there.
you
They
did. You know
got
what I mean?
glue,
I
so
tried
they would
my
glue
best. I
that
did
Did
my
I give you an
best.
attitude the whole time you were there? No.
When they
I'm done
painted
with
the
you.
kitchen,
I got no
said
problems.
something
There's no
else fell
hard
apart.
feelings.